Alright folks, part 2 of Super Return of the Jedi. So, we're in the dance hall, and Chewbacca's gonna tackle this stage, which is actually an ideal choice to make. But before I get started with the rest of this commentary, let's just discuss the character of Luke a little bit. So the thing about Luke Skywalker, he kind of has more difficulty. If you want the true challenge of this game, picking Luke for this sort of thing would seem like the asset to do, simply because his lightsaber makes it difficult, and a lot of these enemies will attack you in cheap and kind of differential ways. So Luke is the tough one to do. Obviously, with fights like the Rancor and the Sail Barge boss and things like that. I mean, I don't know how many other boss characters he faces, but usually when I have the choice in this game to pick Luke, I don't. So that's kind of the main thing there. Chewbacca is probably the simplest for beginners. That's who I'd say to start with. But I mean, for the most part, if you're gonna do Jedi, you definitely are gonna want to do like Chewbacca. So yeah, so managing the Roots gaming channel, kind of seeing what's been keeping me afloat. April's been an interesting month now that I have several YouTube channels I'm trying to manage. Roots has become a collective to Acidic Roots, and my music review channel has a new subsidiary to that also. So it's they're kind of split in two on one, two on the other, and that'll probably continue. I'm looking forward to some clever stuff I've got going, but I definitely needed to be able to see that I could actually beat some of these games, because if I can, I'm probably going to go back to taking month-long breaks and that sort of stuff. That's why I'm trying to have as many finished games up as possible. So I figured, you know, maybe with some degree of difficulty I could beat this game, but I think for the most part it should be easy enough to manage. I'm just trying to think of what my next move is going to be. It might be Mega Man X, but I don't really know if I can complete that game. It seemed to be tough, you know, and I think somehow the final boss Sigma is going to be a pain in the rear, you know. So feels like my cat is going to jeopardize this recording. She's up here with me while I'm recording this, but I'm hoping she's not going to hit like the pause button or something. Space bar, you know. Yeah, it's Bib Fortuna, and I like the carbonite Han Solo back there is a nice touch. The games truly troll you, though. I mean, just the cheapness and the tactics of what you see is just like such a vastage. You know, it really happens to be the thing. Yeah, so there's gonna be more Cobalt appearances. You're gonna see some of those. Even in this playthrough, there's gonna be some Cobalt appearances, so just expect that. You know, it's too bad that more movies, you know, live action movies like Star Wars didn't really get, like, games on the Super Nintendo. And they kind of dropped the ball with, like, the Terminator movies, and I think RoboCop had a few, but there really weren't many. I try to think of things, like, that probably needed to be, but the 90s was kind of dull in that regard, because I know they weren't just going to do rated R movies. Not like they're about to do, I'm trying to think of whatever else there was. They did do an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. I forgot what it was called, but I I don't know. I mean, the PS2 had a shit ton of movie games, so this is kind of like hell. I mean, most of those games probably got like a 4 or 5 out of 10, basically mediocre. But these were actually skilled, and that's the thing is, I think the unanimous reception of these was like an 8 or an 8.5 out of 10. And that's, you know, that's surprisingly solid. This is actually the easiest stage in the game, for the most part. I mean, if you can't beat this boss, I mean, I don't know how difficult he would be on Jedi, but I think this is, you know, if you're trying to get your skill up, this would be a good stage just because of how simple it is, so. But, or a good stage to start with, I mean. But I do actually die on this stage now that I think about it. It was kind of a stupid encounter. I just couldn't quite come up with like the jumps. Those, you know, those pig guards, they throw their axes and that actually hurts. I never paid attention to that when I was younger, but the way they throw those axes, it's like, hey, you know, that's an axe. Like, as it causes damage. So, it killed Han Solo. You're gonna see that later on. Gonna throw that shit like a boomerang or some shit. I don't even know. Well, I'm trying to think of, like, I want to say that there were actually some stages that were going to come out in this that didn't. You know, there's only 19 stages in this game, but I think there might have wanted to be like 22 or something like that. I know that there was supposed to be a Dagobah stage, but it didn't make it into the final package. So, I hated the Dagobah stages in Super Empire. I still would have wanted them in this, but I don't know why they didn't do it. I felt like Lando should have been a playable character also. I mean, it was too bad that he wasn't. He could have been just like Han Solo, but I'm trying to think of what else. There had to have been at least one or two other stages that were supposed to be in the game, but if you look hard enough, you'll find that information. Beta elements. I played this game a lot. I mean, for the fact that this is as old as it is, this was one of the Super Nintendo games that was constantly in my machine back when I was messing with the Super Nintendo primarily. So that was the thing. I don't know. Some cases I would just play this game, didn't even have intentions of beating it. Just was just playing it. I don't know the last time I've done something like that. In every single game that I play anymore, it's like, hey, I want to beat this game or I'm not going to play it, and I'm just like, fuck it. But as far as just playing it just because it's fun, I mean, you know. It took me until I was 25. This game came out when I was 5. It took me until I was 25 to beat that fucking game. I probably could have beaten it sooner, but I just kind of quit the whole damn thing. You know, wait until some of these GameCube gamers and those type people, they realize that it's been 25 years since Smash Bros. Melee came out. It's kind of like hell. Man. It took you 20. I suppose it didn't take me 25, it took me 20 years. Just about 20 years, so. 20 years for this game. Those Jawas, you don't hardly see them in this game. Here's a death. You'll see what happens here. There are enemies that will knock you off the platforms. That's what I was trying to say before and shit. Is you'll get knocked off or the jumps will screw up. And this is just normal platforming, but somehow I had problems with it, you know. Yeah, this is very tricky. And the whole damn thing is I'm gonna have to figure out what some of my next moves are gonna be once I get this game taken care of. And I don't really know. Like I was saying before, I mean, my channel's gonna be relatively empty if I don't have come up with something. Not so much whether or not I own the game or can do well in it. It's just a matter of whether or not I can complete the game. So just how many games I've started, and you've seen some of these in examples with some of my older videos, just whether or not I can beat the last enemy, the final boss or whatever that is. That always seems to trip me up. I'm always a 99% kind of person. I guess I can't seem to figure out why that is. It's cheap, in other words. It trolls me. It's the game. It's not just the game trolling me, it's the developers trolling me. It's the whole damn thing. So, fuck it. But yeah, so this is the easiest boss in the game. There's really little reason why you should be running out of health. I mean, that enemy actually has a name, but I forget what it's called. You can look it up if you go to Wikipedia and search for it, but I just don't remember. Alright, so now is where the difficulty ramps up, so get prepared for that. Part 3 coming soon. And we'll finish up the Jabba stages. So there's a battle afoot. You can smell it. Alright, see you next time.